Hello guys, it's me Zain, and today I'm gonna help you out with a few ideas how to actually identify your orchid. And yeah, I already hear some of my viewers screaming, "Oh my god, you should not ID your orchids, that's not possible." First of all, you can do whatever the f you want to do. Second of all, this topic can be a bit confusing, a bit complex, so let's start it anyways. Today I want to show you a few ideas how to identify your orchid. For example, you just bought an orchid. For example, if you buy an orchid in these flower shops or garden centers, they usually don't have any tags and you just want to know the name. People are like that. We like to name things. We like to know the names of our things. With orchids, they have names because usually these hybrids are named. Not always, but usually. You have to start off by knowing what type of orchid you have. If you have a Phalaenopsis, Oncidium, Dendrobium, whatever. At first, this is your first thing what you have to do. Usually this information is actually labeled on the orchid, so at least you will know that it's an Oncidium or Dendrobium or whatever. In our case, we're gonna try to ID this orchid. This is an Oncidium. I received this orchid last summer and this was featured in the How to Save Orchids video, and after 1 year it bloomed out. So yeah, the save was successful, and if you're curious about these videos, check them out. In the corner there's the info card thingy. This orchid has these beautiful large blooms. Now, I was curious about the ID, so I thought I will take you along and show you how I like to ID my orchids. I know that this is an Oncidium because I'm a little bit experienced, and also I know the fact that the woman who actually received it, she didn't like orchids, so she gave this orchid to me. She received it from, I don't know, as a gift, and it was a regular like store-bought hybrid, so most probably this is in the Oncidium family. But in the case of other orchids, we're gonna do the same. So this was my first step in identifying the orchid. If you search the internet, you can easily find information about identifying your orchids. Maybe I will do a video about that. I'm gonna put my orchid here so you will be able to see the flowers. And also here is my laptop, and I'm gonna show the screen here somewhere, so you will be able to see what I see on my computer, and also at the same time you can watch these flowers. But before we start identifying your orchid, I want to say that this identification is not gonna be, if you don't have a tag for your plant, the identification is never gonna be like 100% sure. If you're really sure about the ID, it's gonna be only like 99%, but that's enough for us. You cannot enter these self-identified orchids to competitions or whatever. It's just for self-enjoyment, let's say it like that. Also, there are some cases when some nursery bought orchids are mislabeled. There is a whole lot going on with this, but in this video we are going to identify orchids just for our own joy and happiness. So at first, my first way of identification is happening via Google. As you can see, this is not Google, this is Ecosia or Ecosia or whatever, and I like to use this searching website thingy because with the help of this, as you can see, search the web to plant trees. After 50 searches, all the money goes to these tree planting things. I'm not sure if it's true, I'm not sure if it's really happening, but it makes me feel good, and I think I'm helping somewhat a little bit. So I'm using this search engine, but in today's video we're gonna use Google as well, because there is something in Google which might help us. Let's start this search by the first step. So we know that this is an Oncidium, so let's type in Oncidium, because between Oncidiums and Oncidium hybrids there are other species and hybrids like Brassias, Hoviaras, Oncidopsis, whatever. There is a lot of things going on in the Oncidium family, but if you type Oncidium, there's gonna be stuff there. And then I like to write in the colors or the pattern or somewhat describe the flower. We see that this is a yellow combined with brown, so I'm gonna put there yellow and brown. So we see a lot of flowers here, and at first I just like to check them out. I just like to see what is going on here, and I'm checking out those which are close to this one. I'm not looking for the exact same color pattern or whatever, I'm just looking for something similar. I have a little bit more trained eye, and looking at the shape of these flowers, I already know that this is an Alisara. And I know that because Alisaras usually have these longer petals and this wider lip, but let's stick with the Oncidium here. And sometimes I don't find anything, sometimes I find the exact same orchid. I just like to check them out and see if there is anything closer in shape or in color. Well, in color everything is pretty close. For example, this is close to the shape of the flowers. And this is where the Google search actually comes in, because if you click on an image, I will show you, Google is weird today. If you actually click on a picture, here is this, oh, well, it's in Hungarian, but it says related images, and in the related images oftentimes you can see other orchids. And I just clicked on this picture because I thought the shape is really close. And if we look at these pictures, the next one, well, what do we see here? This is pretty close, but it's a stock photo, and in the case of these stock photos we don't usually see tags there. And as you can see, there are some other ones, but this is not so close. And let's check this out. If we find any information here, that's gonna be good. Oncidium, and that's that. So that's not a lot of information, but anyways, we have a picture and we can see that this might be the same orchid. That's something, right? And there is this possibility in Google that you can search based by a picture by clicking on this little icon here. Here we go. I will copy the link in there and maybe we will find something in Google. I can already see these orchids might be the same, so I'm clicking on them. Okay, so this is the same picture, but it's on another website. Again, this is nothing. Now, in the case of Oncidiums, since we have a lot of these hybrids, and these hybrids have names like Alisara, Hoviara, and these kind of hybrid names, you can actually first search for Oncidium intergenerics, because these are intergeneric hybrids. So here we go, I just found this website, Oncidium and intergenerics. Here on this website we can actually see that these orchids are pretty close shape-wise to this orchid. So maybe we can find something if I type Alisara and then yellow and brown. So let's check out that. We have here a lot of orchids and none of them is the same as ours. Basically, you can search in Google like endlessly, because you can combine these search phrases. You can actually type only Alisara and maybe you will be lucky. Oh my god, this is one of my favorite Oncidiums like ever. I just need this. For example, this is pretty close to our orchid, maybe. I think this orchid is more frilly on the edges and the lip is too wide. Now the case is, you don't have to look for the exact same pictures on the internet, because when these orchids are hybridized, oftentimes they don't usually come up with only one hybrid, but there are some, let's call them sister hybrids, and because in one batch there can be more orchids which were chosen to be mass-produced, and between these, let's call them sisters and brothers, there can be quite a difference. So this is one of the ways. Oh, here we go. I just overlooked it the first time, and now here we have something. So okay, so here we go. Here is this Alisara flying high. Now let's search for it. Alisara flying high, and ta-da! This is our orchid. So this is the Alisara flying high, and as I was talking about it, some of them doesn't look pretty similar like pattern wise. Here on this search we find that this is the Alisara flying high, stars and bars. So this might be the stars and bars variety, but there might be some other ones. So this Alisara is the same, was in the same batch, but this is called Hawaii. But don't forget that there can be differences even if it's the Alisara Flying High and the same variety, the Stars and Bars. Even in that case, there can be some little differences. Buds developing in the different environments might create different patterns or different intensity of a color or something like that. And the other way which I like to do is try to ask some other people, and you can do that in orchid forums, on Facebook, in some orchid groups, or if you are maybe a YouTuber and you do what I did. So here in my community tab I posted, "Hi cutie, who are you?" And in the comment section or the know-it-all section of this community post, Michael McCarty commented, "Alisara Flying High, Stars and Bars." Other people might know the ID for you because there are a lot of people who like orchids. This is not like super sure you cannot enter these in any competition or whatever, but we just like to know the ID for our orchids, okay? That's okay actually. There is no problem with that. And some people say that you already know this is an oncidium, care for it as an oncidium and that's all. Well bitch, I wanna know the ID, okay? And now that we know the ID, what I like to check out is the Orchid Roots Blue Nanta website, because I just like it. Orchid Roots Blue Nanta, I really like this website. So Orchid Roots, wow, this is something new. Okay, what is the difference between the Orchid Roots and the Orchid Light? I'm not sure. Alisara Flying High, registered hybrid. We can find a lot of info about our orchid. For example, we can see that the species ancestors, there is Brassia girolardiana, 25%, Oncidium herrerianum 25%, and also the direct descendants are here, which is quite interesting in my opinion. Also, there can be some photos. Of course, there are no photos for this one, but the ancestry tree this is just wow. I like to check this out because I think it's really interesting how these oncidiums and these oncidium types were crossed together to get this Alisara Flying High. This is my video for today and I hope you liked it. And this is my Oncidium Alisara Flying High, Stars and Bars for today. We might do another video about this one because it's a gorgeous beauty. I hope I recorded the screen, because if not, that will suck. So this is my video for today and I hope you liked it. If you liked it, click on the like button. If you disliked it, use someone who is really bitchy about IDing orchids and we don't like you. You can leave a comment down in my know-it-all section. Also, you can subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my other channel, and you can follow me on Instagram. And that's all for today. See you next time. Bye guys.